Hey, what's up you guys, it's Brad. So I know I haven't made a video on this channel in like 310 years, but I think last year I did a top 10 movies of 2014. And I feel like it's just always a tradition that I always have to do a top 10 best and a top 10 worst eventually. So today I'm gonna do my top 10 best movies of 2015. This is my completely biased opinion. I'm not basing these movies, I'm not putting them in order of oh, this one had better cinematography or oh, this one had better writing. It's just purely based on what I enjoyed the most. So the technical aspects really don't matter at this point. Now it's just really about how much I enjoyed it and, in that order from 10 to 1. So we're gonna start with number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Disney Pixar's Inside Out. I feel like I would have been a bad person if this wasn't on my list. This was really a beautiful movie. They made it beautiful as usual. Pixar is always beautiful, but the idea behind this movie with the emotions and the way they really tackled the idea was really interesting to me. I thought it was really cool how they went like an adventure inside this girl's mind. I always find those kind of things interesting, and I know if I was younger I would have really appreciated it. I would have loved it. But being older, I can appreciate more of the sentimental values to it and why it could be sad or why it's really interesting. Because, when you're a kid, you don't really appreciate that kind of stuff. You just think, oh, that's cool, colors. It was a really good movie. Coming in at number 9 is Crimson Peak. This was one of the biggest surprises of the year. I was sort of looking forward to it. I don't normally like movies that take place in the 1800s, so I wasn't really looking forward to this. But I saw it. I really enjoyed it. I loved how it was a psychological thriller rather than a supernatural thriller. The supernatural aspect could have been eliminated from the movie entirely, and I think it would have been better. I think the ghosts really just kind of made it stupid and more far-fetched than it needed to be. If they just left it without the ghosts, I think it would have been really more interesting, and a lot of people would have liked it better. But the acting was great, the cinematography was amazing. I told you that stuff really didn't matter, but it was a great story, it was a great idea, great writing, great acting, and it was just a really good movie. Number 8 is San Andreas, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I thought this was another big surprise for me. I wasn't really expecting anything from this. I wasn't excited. I thought it was going to be one of those typical stupid... Sorry for the lighting change, I don't know what's going on here. I thought it was going to be like a typical stupid disaster film, but it had good writing, and it was definitely unrealistic. You had to suspend your disbelief a little more than you really should in a disaster movie, but it was really interesting, and it was really action-packed, and it was just a good adventure. I really liked it. Coming at number 7 is Amy Schumer's comedy Trainwreck. This movie was another surprise to me. The writing in this is so quick-witted and so good. Amy Schumer is a genius. She is the funniest woman I've ever seen. She's my favorite comedian. This movie was so funny. I cracked up through the whole thing. Comedies, if they make you crack up, that means they did its job and that it's a good movie. And Trainwreck is definitely a good movie. Coming in at number 6 on a more depressing note is Southpaw, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. This movie was so upsetting. It was sad, and I wasn't expecting it to be sad. I don't like boxing movies, but that didn't really affect this because it was so sad, and the acting was so real and raw, and it just felt like a real story. And this man, Jake Gyllenhaal, he is a genius, an acting genius, literally. He's amazing. He's one of the best actors I've ever seen. He did a fantastic job in this movie, and I just thought this movie was really great. Number 5 is The Martian, starring Matt Damon. Everybody seemed to like this movie a lot. I was not that excited going into it because I don't normally like space movies. I did like Interstellar, but this movie was so good. The execution was amazing. The way that they made it so feel realistic that this guy could be literally on Mars with nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and survive. And then, spoilers, bring him back to the planet. That was so interesting, just that plot alone. That was so cool. I love how they executed it. The sets were amazing, the writing, the acting, everything about that was just perfect. It was a great film. The only reason it's not really lower on the list is because it got kind of slow in the middle, but just for a couple minutes. And when it wasn't slow, it was so good, and I enjoyed it so much. Number 4 is Ted This wasn't so well received, but I liked this one 30 times more than the first one. I thought the jokes were funnier. I thought Mark Wahlberg was better. I thought Ted was better. I thought everything about this was better. It was so funny. I laughed so hard, it was embarrassing. People literally like came up to me like, shush, you're too loud. And I was like, no, it's just so funny, I can't stop laughing. It was so good. Ted 2 is the best comedy of the year by far. Coming in at number 3 is Ex Machina, starring Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac. This was like, I had no idea what to expect. I don't like robot movies, but this movie surprised me so much. I couldn't even believe it. The way this was executed, the way it was written, the way it was acted, it was just perfect on every level. And if a movie is perfect, definitely deserves to be on the top 10 list. Number 2 is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. This was my second favorite Hunger Games movie. I love the Hunger Games franchise. I haven't read the books, but the movies I love. I didn't really like Mockingjay Part 1 that much, but Part 2 was fantastic. The way, the adventure that it took you on, it was just like, it just had me wrapped up in it so much. I saw it 3 times, and I just loved it. I love it even more every time I see it. So, that's a great movie. Number 1, drum roll please. Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. Jurassic Park has been my favorite movie for a long time. Jurassic Park and The Wolf of Wall Street. Jurassic Park is so great. Jurassic World was just as good to me. I know people are gonna think that that's weird, or like, I don't think that the people are gonna like disagree. I don't care. Disagree as much as you want to. This movie was just as good as the first one. It was amazing. It was amazing. The CGI was amazing. The story was amazing. The acting, I loved the main 2 actors. They had great chemistry. They were really good together. People found ways to discredit this movie, and just like that she had high heels on when she was running from the T-Rex, whatever. This had the coolest dinosaur fight in the world at the end with the T-Rex, and the way that it ended, I saw it 6 times. I'm ready to see it a 7th time. I loved Jurassic World. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. You should subscribe to my mom and I's channel, Brad and Les. We do videos every week on American Horror Story and other fun things, and yeah, it's really fun. So subscribe, please, 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 and give this video a like, comment, and thumbs up, and subscription. What the hell am I saying? Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to our channel, like the video, comment on the video, dislike it if you want to. Don't do that though. Don't dislike. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I feel like making a video. Definitely a top 10 worst movies 2015. I hope you guys had a great year. Happy New Year's. Happy holidays. Thank you, guys. Bye.